He was a literal doctor with a PhD, a special forces trained tactical planner, and for 30 years straight, he robbed banks with absolute military precision. This is a wild one. Welcome to Times Crime. Today's story is about a guy who basically min-maxed being a criminal. He was known as the Friday Night Bank Robber, and once you see exactly how in-depth his plans were, you'll understand why we're saying that. Carl Gugasian was born in Pennsylvania in 1947. No tragic mob ties, no underground lair, just a quiet, nerdy kid who one day decided to rob a candy store at the age of 15. Anyway, Carl got caught immediately and sent to juvie. But instead of scaring him straight, it kind of upgraded his ambition in a way.
Look, if you can calculate compound interest, you can calculate the odds of being caught.
I just needed some help with my math homework, Carl. So once this guy gets out of juvie, he starts to hit the books super hard. Electrical engineering, systems analysis, and eventually it led him to get a PhD in statistics. Pretty smart dude. Oh, somewhere I forgot to mention in there, he enrolled in the Reserve Officers Training Corps. He served in the Army and did some time at Fort Bragg where he, received Special Forces training. See, this is why you don't pick on the nerdy kids. Take notes.
Hey you, get your damn hands off her.
So it's like this dude basically built a character sheet for a tactical RPG and spec'd like 100% into criminal logistics. I mean, wouldn't have been my first choice, but hey, there's something out there for everybody, I guess. So in the 1970s, he starts to rob banks. Now, he's doing this quietly, precise, very clean, almost always super small towns. And they were always banks that were either near a highway or near woods or something like that nearby. Carl would spend months watching the staffs, watching their routines, examining the traffic flow, nearby patrols, anything that could possibly affect him being able to rob this bank effectively. And Friday nights, just before closing, that was his sweet spot. Cash was high, foot traffic was low, and cops, like mostly everybody else, were dreaming of happy hour. Every single time, he wore full camo, a ski mask, gloves, and somehow he even managed to black out the whites of his eyes using stage makeup. Like, that's dedication. Then he would escape into the woods on a pre-stashed dirt bike. He would zip through a bunch of different trails to a hidden van that usually had stolen plates. And then, like that, he'd vanish. Carl wasn't just careful. He was obsessive. He would take supplies, bury them into PVC pipes. He would map out terrain, analyze aerial photos, and even sometimes he would walk past the banks in a disguise just to gauge the staff reactions, see what they would do. Good morning. Out for a jog, I say. Yes, yes.
Hey, honey, Mal's here. I'm a normal man doing normal man things. Ignore the binoculars.
He made flashcards of every single staffer's routine. He would study escape routes like they were battle plans. And yeah, he took notes. Constantly. For jobs that never even happened. Judy, teller 3, hums before she opens the vault. Steve, security, microwaves fish twice a week, weak bladder. Angela, always clocks out at 6:39, weak point in the timeline. Weather patterns. Statistically fewer patrol cars when it's raining.
Fridays, optimally.
So for over 30 years straight, he hit over 50 banks, stole $2 million, and left zero evidence. The FBI had nothing at all.
You can't keep getting away with it!
So fast forward a little bit in time. It's the early 2000s. Carl was in his 50s. He's starting to slow down, but the reality of it is that the world didn't slow down, just he did. Surveillance tech improved. Police departments started to get smarter as well. But, contrary to popular belief, it wasn't the cops that actually tracked him. It was 2 teenagers screwing around in the woods in 2002.
Yes, might have gotten away with it too. If it wasn't for these blasted kids and their dogs.
Big meddling kids Scooby-Doo vibes here, for sure. So they ended up finding one of Carl's buried stashes. Again, these guys found blueprints, disguises, even creepy Halloween-styled masks.
Untraceable.
And just like that, they unlocked 30 years of near-perfect crime with just a stick and some teenage curiosity. Again, big Scooby-Doo vibes here. Just putting it out there. So when the FBI ended up raiding his place, it was like stepping into some type A supervillain's lair.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to my new submarine lair. It's long and hard and full of semen.
There was books on strategy, robbery diaries, topographical maps, costumes, face molds, timed escape plans. And here's the craziest part of all of it. Carl didn't even run. He didn't lie, just admitted everything. He even said he never did it for the money. He was addicted to the process.
Some people do crossword puzzles. I rob banks. Tomato, tomato.
Which, I know you're probably thinking the same thing. That's a crazy thing to get addicted to. A lot of people get addicted to drugs, food, I don't know, social media, YouTube. But robbery? Bank robbery? Solo bank robbery? I don't know, man. Again, I don't condone crime, but it's impressive, the lengths that he went through just to accomplish these things. And because Carl cooperated fully with the investigation, gave back whatever money he could, and had no violent record at all, his sentence was dropped down to 17 years. When it actually came down to it, he ended up serving 15, and he was released in 2017. So here's the crazy part. Today, Carl gives lectures on criminal behavior and security flaws. It's kind of like a weird reverse TED Talk speaker. There was no memoir, there were no flashy interviews, just a retired mastermind, quietly cashing out on his experience the hard way. He didn't die in a blaze of glory. He didn't get caught by some super heat-packed standoff or barricaded subject. He just got unlucky. Some teenager literally tripped over this dude's legacy. Bank robbing legacy. And the FBI followed the trail. So yeah, Carl Gugasian, the PhD who made robbing banks look like a simple math equation. No explosions, no wild shootouts, just spreadsheets, a flashcard, and a guy who treated crime kind of like a science project. In a world full of chaos, he brought order to robbery? I don't know, man. If that dude had gone legit, I guarantee you he'd be running Homeland Security by now. But instead, he turned the woods of Pennsylvania into a decades-long game of hide and seek, and he nearly won. Carl. Next week, we get to cover a case that you actually might be familiar with. We're going to talk about a guy who scammed airlines, banks, hospitals, and even the FBI, all before his 21st birthday. That's right, we are covering Frank Abagnale, the real-life character from the movie Catch Me If You Can with Leo DiCaprio.
Now, you sure this is the suit, right?
Positive. It's the exact suit he wore in the movie.
Okay, I'll take 3.
Certainly, Mr. Fleming.
So yeah, he's got a really interesting story. So yeah, we're going to cover that next week. But hey, if you did like this one, please do me a favor, hit that subscribe button, like this video, share a comment down below what you think, or if there's a case that you want us to cover, because man, I'll be more than happy to look into it and we can do a video on it. But again, last thing to remember, this is Times Crimes, and remember, the past doesn't rest easy, but we're here to make sure it doesn't get away with anything either.